Are you dissatisfied with the level of corruption in your government? I don't care whether it's state, local, state, or national. Are you dissatisfied with the amount of corruption in the sense that you want a lot more corruption? Well, if so, I have good news for you. I have a simple one-step plan to make sure that your government gets increasingly corrupt over time. Do this one thing, and you just look at it historically, it's never failed. If you do this one thing for a long enough period of time, your government invariably becomes corrupt. So the history backs this plan working. And the beauty of it is, most of you are already doing it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about working so that one political party dominates your government. If you can ever pull that off and sustain it for any length of time, history says it will get corrupt. It will go increasingly corrupt over time. One party rule, without notable exception, always produces corruption. Now, if it's at the national level, it's even better because there's no check and balance within the country over a wayward national party. One-party states are corrupt. But it kind of works even at the state and local level too. For example, big cities typically have Democrat party machines. And people in much of the country sort of snicker at them and laugh at them about how corrupt they are. So, and it's true, even with states and national levels somewhat watching them, the one-party machines get corrupt. However, I am from, or lived for 20 years, in Benton County, Arkansas, and Benton County is basically a one-party Republican region. And even though they had a state and a national government watching over them, they still got corrupt. And our county judge had to resign for self-dealing, which is pretty bad because in Arkansas, being a county judge, it could basically be treated as a license to steal. You've got to be pretty flagrant to get caught. So, okay, and in my lifetime, in my state, even though there was a national government watching over them, check and balancing them to some extent, the state was run by Democrats when I was young, and they were terribly corrupt. And within my lifetime, it's switched, and now Arkansas is pretty much a one-party Republican state. They are also corrupt. The FBI had to come arrest a bunch of them. They wouldn't tell on each other. The voters wouldn't throw them out because the alternative was those terrible Democrats. And so, just like a generation before, the alternative was those terrible Republicans, so they stuck with the corrupt Democrats. And so I think 10% of our Senate was under indictment at one time, and they say they didn't get at them all. So what I'm telling you is a proven method. You just work hard to make sure one political party runs your region, local, state, or national. And when you achieve your goal and sustain that goal, you will be guaranteeing corruption, an increase in corruption, because that's what always happens with one-party states. The guys you're supporting now are not smart enough or virtuous enough to be the exception. Now, I've been facetious up to this point in the video. I know you don't really want corruption, even though many of you have spent your political life doing something that guarantees it. And what I'm saying is, be balanced and acknowledge the role of free market competition in producing excellence and virtue, and support easy access to the ballot for independents and other parties. And that way, if you find the brand that you've been working for all your life does get a little too odious even for you, you've got another one you can opt to. It's not, I wish changing political parties was not so traumatic. But by forcing there to be two realistic choices and you despise one, they kind of make it to where you want to hold your nose, close your eyes, plug your ears, and tighten your sphincter and vote for them anyway. And I'm saying if there were 10 parties, changing political parties would be more like changing laundry detergent. You don't like the job they're doing, it's not doing the job for you, a little too dirty for your liking, you can switch to another brand It's not traumatic. You're not going over to the enemy. You're just changing laundry detergent. And I kind of wish the two guys that are on top, keeping everybody else out, would stop doing that so we could have a diversity of brands and it wouldn't be so traumatic changing those brands. But, you know, I was being facetious the first part of this video, but I wasn't being wrong. I wasn't being untrue. It is the historical record that one-party systems go bad. So instead of spending all your effort making sure your one party is on top and all other groups are kept off the ballot, do the virtuous thing for the republic as a public-minded citizen, as someone who lives in a government that is supposed to be public business, and keep other avenues for other groups open to ballot access. Thank you for listening.